It might have taken me a month to gather everything for this video, but I guess it's better later than never. Today we're going to be discussing the best and worst luxury purchases of 2022, as well as my most and least used luxury pieces. So I guess you're getting a two-in-one, mainly because I can't remember exactly what I bought in 2022 and what I might have bought towards the end of 2021. So I figured let's just include everything, the pieces that I couldn't live without last year and the ones that I couldn't force myself to use. So without further ado, if you'd like to see the pieces that I truly got my money's worth out of and the ones that I should have returned, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. So I'm thinking we should do one great purchase and one not so great, but I want to start with these because I hate having shoes in my apartment so much that I currently have these set on a paper bag. So I want to get these out of the way, even though these are by far one of the best luxury purchases of not only last year, but maybe the past couple of years. This is something that I ended up picking up towards the end of last year, but it's something that was on my wish list throughout the entire year. I just couldn't find them in the right size, which are going to be my Celine white sneakers. If you guys know me, you know that I pretty much live in white sneakers just because I wear so much black. I like to break up an all monochromatic look with a pair of white sneakers. I feel like if you wear an all black look with black shoes, they can drag you down, but if you wear them with white sneakers or sneakers that at least have a white sole to them, they help to just lift the overall outfit. So as I said, I wear white sneakers pretty much every single day of my life. I have tried most branded white sneakers. There I don't think is a brand out there, a luxury brand who does white sneakers that I haven't tried, but these are by far some of the best that I have ever come across. They are insanely comfortable. They go with anything and everything, and I genuinely mean it when I say it. I have worn these with sweats to the gym, but I have also worn these with a full-on runway suit, and they look just as incredible regardless of what you style them with. They are also unbelievably comfortable to a point where they are so cushiony on the inside that they almost feel like you're walking on clouds. They come in a ton of different sizes. They have these both for men and women. But speaking of sizing, do keep in mind that they run insanely big. I'm usually a 42, 43 in sneakers. In these, I had to take a 41, which is one of the reasons it has taken me so long to get these. I tried to get these all throughout last year, but they were always out of stock in 41, 42, 43, so I couldn't even try them. Now they went up slightly in price. They're a little bit more expensive, and now everyone seems to have them back in stock, but they are still, in my opinion, reasonably priced for what they are and for what they add to an outfit. Going from an incredible purchase to one that I kind of regret. Next up is my Dior t-shirt, which says we should all be feminists, and it's just a plain black t-shirt. Now the message is still something that I very much agree with. Yes, women should run the world. It's something that I very much believe in. Do you have to spend this much money on a black t-shirt? I think this is something that I said in my original unboxing too. No, you absolutely do not have to spend this kind of money on a black t-shirt, but I love the message. I do like Dior, so I thought I would pick this up, and I still love the look of this t-shirt. I love the idea. The quality is decent. I mean, it's nothing outstanding. It's just like any designer black t-shirt. It's not better or not worse, but it is a lot more expensive. Let's not argue about that. It is ridiculous how much this t-shirt costs, and I haven't been wearing it as much as I thought I would for one reason, and that reason is the sizing. So let me explain why I don't think it's as good of a purchase as I thought it would be. So when these t-shirts first came out, which I think was a few years ago, they launched these at the same time they brought back their Dior 8 t-shirts. But anyway, when these first launched, they only came in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. And I never realized that now they come in bigger and smaller sizes too, because they're seasonal printed t-shirts, they're seasonal embroidered t-shirts, still only come in 3 different sizes. But this line has since been expanded, which I didn't know last year when I ordered these. I got these in a large, thinking that it was the largest size. It's something that had to be ordered for me. Paid for these, picked them up, wore them a couple of times, and then I realized that now these also come in an extra large, and I do wish I had bought these in an extra large, not because large is too small for me, but it is an extremely fitted t-shirt, and it's fitted in certain places. It is a more feminine tapered shape, and it's tapered in places where I don't want it to be tapered, especially around my waist. So it kind of goes in and then it goes out again, which is a beautiful cut on a female body, but it just doesn't look the best on me. Now, it's not so small that I couldn't wear it or it would look odd on me, but the proportions are just not perfect. And for this kind of money, I would want to feel like $1,000,000 in a t-shirt that costs, I think this is nearly $1,000, which I know is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a t-shirt. And as I said, for that kind of money, you do want to feel incredible in the t-shirt that you're wearing. Now, it is something that I can pull off with a blazer over my shoulder. I can wear it as a layering piece, but I definitely cannot wear it on its own. Not because it looks out of proportion, but it kind of does. I know exactly what proportions I like, and this is just simply not it, which is a personal issue. Obviously, it is in their women's line, which I do believe that you can wear whatever you want. It's 2022, or actually no, sorry, it's 2023, so you should be able to wear whatever you want, but depending on what proportions you prefer, you have to be smart about which size you go for. And for me, it's not that it's small, but I could have used a little bit more fabric in certain places. And speaking of t-shirts, let me show you the t-shirt discovery of 2022, the t-shirts that I have genuinely been living in. I mean, I wore one of these t-shirts before I sat down to film. I'm going to wear another one after I'm done filming when I go to the gym. I'm going to wear another one when I go for a walk with Pi tonight. I'm going to wear another one in the morning tomorrow. These are the t-shirts that I genuinely live in, which, yes, they're not comparable to Dior, especially not when it comes to the price. I mean, these are less than a tenth of the price of my Dior t-shirt, but these are way better. Don't waste your money on Dior t-shirts. Get some of these instead, which are going to be my Skims t-shirts, especially their t-shirts from their boyfriend line, which is their unisex line. So obviously Skims is Kim Kardashian's shapewear line. I personally have nothing against or for the Kardashians. I didn't buy these because of the brand. I bought these because I heard so many incredible rave reviews. And I have to be honest, these are the t-shirts that I have been living in. I mean, I must have bought definitely over 10 of their boyfriend t-shirts. I have their tanks, which I wear to the gym, and then I wear their long sleeve t-shirts at home and whenever I have to go out. They are incredibly soft, comfortable, stretchy, but there is a nice shape to them. These are definitely a little bit tapered, not nearly as tapered as the Dior ones, but they do have a shape to them. They drape beautifully. The fabric is incredibly soft. One thing that I do have to say about them is that they shrink slightly when you wash them, and I know how to wash delicate fabrics, but they still shrink just a tiny bit, so that's something that you want to keep in mind. But I bought the tanks in a medium and a large. I wear the medium whenever I do weight training. I mean, this is way too much information, but in case you're interested, I wear the medium one when I do weight training and I don't jump around that much. And then for cardio workouts, I wear a large, just so not my entire upper body is out when I'm jumping around. And then in the long sleeve t-shirts, I always wear size medium because it is a unisex range. The range goes from, I think, a double extra small to a triple extra large maybe, and some of these still might be on sale. So if you are interested in picking up some incredible basic staple t-shirts, definitely check out my info box. And I have Onyx is my favorite color, which is their take on black, which is kind of an insult to call this black because it is not black. It's a dark charcoal gray, but I guess they call it onyx, not black, but onyx is a lot darker than this. It's kind of a gray color, but I also bought some of their grays. I think this was in their rust color or oxide or something along those lines, but it is the onyx color that I always go back to. In fact, I bought so many of these that I have some that I haven't even opened, and the reason I bought so many of them is because if I don't have this many, I would be doing laundry every other day because I genuinely wear these so much. I wear them to the gym, I wear them for dog walks, I wear them around the house. I bought some that now I wear as pajamas. They are just the best t-shirts, and I mean, I wouldn't call them a designer t-shirt, but they are not cheap. But I do think that for the quality, for how they feel, for how often you can wear them, they are pretty reasonably priced. So I have to say this, out with Dior and in with Skims, which I never thought I would say, but I want to be honest. If we're talking about my most worn and most used luxury pieces or designer pieces, these are definitely up there on my list because these are the pieces that I genuinely live in. Another huge fail for me last year was pretty much everything I tried from Hermes Beauty. I have to admit that I did buy a lot of things as gifts. So I bought a ton of their nail polishes as Christmas gifts. I bought some of their hand creams. I bought their tinted sunscreen as a gift, which I also tried myself. You guys may remember that I tried their tinted sunscreen. Was it last summer? I think I bought it and tried it. Sorry guys, the baby's just playing there with one of his toys. But I did try their tinted sunscreen, which when it comes to anything and any kind of makeup that they do, you have to take my review with a grain of salt because I'm not a makeup wearer. So I did try their tinted sunscreen because I do wear sunscreen every single day, usually regular sunscreen, not tinted sunscreen. But I thought since it's Hermes, I have to give it a try. And especially the name of the collection is Plein Air, which led me to believe that everything in this range is going to be super light, airy. It's going to just make you look healthy. I didn't think that any of the products in this line would be too mattifying or too makeup-y, but to me it was the exact opposite. So I've tried their tinted sunscreen, which, as I said in my original review, made me look super chalky and just kind of dull. There was something about the formula that not only irritated my skin because it was so heavily fragranced, but it just also made my skin look lackluster. So I don't even know where it is. I did end up buying it for a friend of mine who loved it, but she is a makeup wearer, so I guess you have to listen to her review and not mine. But maybe if you're like me and you don't want to make up on your skin, you might just want to enhance your natural skin, I don't think that this range is for you, which is quite counterintuitive considering that their entire ethos behind their beauty line, especially this particular collection, that it should just help you enhance your natural beauty. Not that you need to wear makeup or anything on your skin to be beautiful, but if you just want a little bit of help, a little bit of boost, I don't think that this range is for you. So I tried that tinted sunscreen. I wasn't a fan, but then I also tried their powder, their mattifying powder, which does come in two different finishes. So you can get a mattifying powder or you can buy a glowy powder if you want to highlight your skin, which I do not. I actually want to do the opposite because I work really hard on having glowy skin, but when I sit here in front of all these lights, sometimes they have the tendency to make me look just a little bit too glowy for my liking, and I don't want to wear anything mattifying. I just like to dust a little bit of powder on my skin, which I usually use one from, I think it's from It Cosmetics. I'll link it down below for you, but I do think that it is from It Cosmetics, and it's nothing more than just a white translucent powder to help mattify your skin. It's not going to add any coverage, it's not going to color correct, it's just going to mattify your skin, which I didn't think would be that hard. So I ended up buying Hermes's version of a mattifying powder, which, as I said, is just a plain translucent powder. It shouldn't add any color, it shouldn't add any coverage, it should just mattify your skin. And I have no idea how you can mess up a mattifying powder, but Hermes was able to do so because this is so mattifying that it makes your skin look dull. Even if you use just the lightest dusting on your skin, it makes you look dull. It's kind of chalky, it looks heavy on the skin, even if you have nothing underneath it. Even just me applying this on my skincare without any coverage, it somehow still is able to make my skin look kind of heavy and almost plastery. It is the weirdest thing, not to mention that it is also heavily fragranced, just like this entire line. I don't like the packaging, which this packaging should be refillable, and it doesn't feel like a refillable packaging because it is so insanely light. It's just a cheap plastic case, which I love the design of, but it just doesn't feel heavy, weighty. It just does not feel or look luxurious on the skin. Now maybe if you have incredibly oily skin, it's something that you will enjoy, that it's so mattifying and almost draining. It drains the life out of your skin, which I guess some people might want, and the same goes for the Plein Air sunscreen. But personally, it just wasn't what I was looking for and wasn't what I expected from this brand, from the campaign, from the name, from their messaging. It's just simply not what I thought these things would do to my skin. So it's definitely not something that I have been using. I'd rather look glowy than look dull, even on camera. And then the other thing that I bought and tried and was fine was their cuticle oil, which I had never tried a cuticle oil before this. but I have to be honest with you, I pretty much stopped using it after a few weeks. I just got tired of doing it. I didn't feel like it did that much for my hands or for my nails, so I stopped using it. But these things I still have. But actually, I do have to say that these might not be a great purchase from the Hermes beauty line, but one thing that is definitely a best purchase of mine, which is not something that I bought last year, but I bought several refills, is my Hermes lip balm, which I can never remember the name of, Rose Hermes, and it's in the color Rose Apricot, because I think there are 3 different shades of their tinted lip balms, and then there's also the untinted lip balm, which I don't like. I prefer the Rose Hermes lip balms, but I don't want too much color on my lips, which these really don't add any color to your lips. I like the orange one, which doesn't make your lips look orange. It doesn't make your lips look weird. If anything, it just makes your lips look a tiny bit more lively, but with the amount that you apply, it's really not going to do that much. It's more about the flavor, the finish, and how it makes my lips feel, which I love. I go through these a ton, and these are also refillable just like their compact, but while these feel just unbelievably cheap and flimsy, these are really weighty, they are magnetic. These just feel like a truly luxurious experience, something that you do want to continue using and refilling, whereas with this, it doesn't feel like a refillable compact. It just feels like something you got from your local drugstore, which there's nothing wrong with, but for this kind of money, I just have higher expectations. So it's one thing that I don't like what's inside the powder, but the packaging itself is also not the most luxurious feel. But I do love their rose lip balms. So we have some hits and misses when it comes to the Hermes beauty line, but if you're looking to start your collection somewhere, I would highly suggest that you look at their rose lip balms. And as I said, you can choose from 3 different shades. I like rose apricot just because I'm so insanely pale, but they do have some richer shades. They also have a more pinky hue, but rose apricot I think would be a universally flattering shade on everyone, because as I said, it really doesn't add that much color to your lips. I guess the Hermes beauty line was more of a miss rather than a hit. So why don't we move on to some great purchases, which I did end up finding some amazing jeans last year. A pair that I rediscovered, or I should say a brand that I rediscovered for jeans. It wasn't my first time buying jeans from this brand, but I'm so glad that I ended up adding a new pair to my collection, because I realized how much I missed having these in my denim arsenal, which are Saint Laurent skinny jeans. I'm going to say this, if you love skinny jeans, Saint Laurent is the way to go, because their skinny jeans are just the best. They're skinny, but they're not too skinny. They're stretchy, but they're not too stretchy. They're amazing quality when you sit down. The knee part doesn't stretch too much. The hem on the jeans aren't too tapered where you have a hard time actually pulling them on your legs. They are just the best skinny jeans. If you love skinny jeans, Saint Laurent is the way to go, and I actually got these from the same boutique that I got my Celine sneakers from. So I love these. I'm going to continue buying these. I didn't buy skinny jeans for a couple of years there just because I know that they're not the trendiest thing, but I couldn't care less about trends. If they make me feel comfortable and confident, I'm going to continue buying them. And you can play around with skinny jeans, you can play around with proportions just to make them look and feel a little bit more contemporary. You don't have to wear them with everything tight. You can wear them with a nice cashmere knit that's a little bit more oversized, or a chunkier pair of sneakers to help counterbalance that really skinny look. But these are not overly skinny. These are not the kind of jeans that almost look and feel like leggings. They are incredibly comfortable. They have just the perfect amount of stretch to them. So if you're looking for a good pair of skinny jeans that are going to last, especially in black, go for Saint Laurent skinny jeans. And if you're a lover of baggy jeans, I also have something for you. If you love a pair of jeans that are a little bit more baggy, but they still look flattering, they're not overwhelming, they are not overdone. Sorry guys, I have fluff flying everywhere just because these were on the floor, and obviously the floor is covered in the baby's hair no matter how often I vacuum. But anyway, going back to the jeans, if you want a pair of baggy jeans that is still nicely shaped, that's not overwhelming, Loewe is the brand for you to turn to. I love my Loewe jeans. I pretty much wore these all summer exclusively. I really didn't wear anything else, and as I said, I prefer skinny jeans just because of the shape, but when it comes to Loewe jeans, no matter which pair you look at, they're cut so beautifully that even if they're a little bit more baggy, a little bit more oversized, they will still give you a really nice shape. These I call my gardening jeans, which are more of a barrel shape. So even though they're baggy in the middle, they're kind of cinch in around the waist because these are quite high-waisted, and also around the hem. So these are by far some of my favorite jeans, but they run extremely big. So I think I got the smallest size in these, which was a 46, and I tried these on before I sat down to film, and I think they might be a little bit too big, so I have to take them to my tailor. But these are definitely something that I would consider repurchasing, or even if I'm not repurchasing this exact same pair from Loewe. Loewe jeans are definitely something that I'm going to look into investing in again for spring summer. And then another pair of jeans that I bought this year that I loved, I bought some Dior jeans, which were incredible. I currently have them in the wash, but it's so hard to buy Dior jeans because really no one carries them other than the Dior boutiques, and I think Dior has 3 boutiques around the world. I think they have one in New York, they have one in LA, and they have one in London, and even those stores never have them in stock. So if you ever get the chance to try on a pair of jeans from Dior, definitely give them a try, but I couldn't advise you to get them online because it can be quite tricky, first of all, to find them, and 2, to figure out what size you need to buy from Dior. And then another pair of jeans that I bought for the first time this year was from Brunello. Brunello is a brand that I definitely want to do a deep dive on. You guys know that I do these deep dive reviews on certain brands. Please let me know what brands you'd like me to do a deep dive on this coming year, because those videos are so much work to do and I love making them for you. I know so many of you enjoy them, but I would love to know which brands you'd like to hear my thoughts on. So if you have any requests, please let me know in the comment section. But Brunello is definitely a brand that I am thinking of doing a deep dive on because it's kind of an underrated brand. It's one of those brands that if you know, you know, but it's not one that I think a lot of people would consider investing in because the price range is ridiculous, but the quality is pretty outstanding, I must admit, based on my limited personal experience. But when it comes to jeans, Saint Laurent jeans were an amazing discovery. Not really a discovery, but a rediscovery. And then when it comes to Loewe jeans, for spring, summer, or for those who love to wear baggy jeans, definitely this is the brand for you to turn to. Jumping back to some of the worst purchases of last year, this next one was so bad that I had to return it almost immediately after unboxing it, which I told you guys I was going to do, and it is the Bottega duffel bag. Who remembers me unboxing that Bottega bag, which was just a nightmare? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the design, but the execution, the choice of fabric was so poor that I have no idea how Bottega could have approved selling that, especially for thousands and thousands of dollars. That bag looked more like something that you got from a souvenir store on the beach rather than something that you paid really good money for. So that was something that I had to almost immediately return, even though I love the shape, and that bag also comes in leather, but I think the leather version is $7,000 just because it's such a large bag and I didn't want to risk spending that kind of money after having such a disappointing experience. But I would definitely look at it if I got the chance, but my local Bottega doesn't carry that bag and I didn't want to ask them to transfer it because I'm not sure if I would be willing to spend that kind of money on Bottega. In that video of mine, now I'm remembering, I also unboxed a belt from Dior, which I also sent back just because really all their leather goods have been just so insanely disappointing. The quality, the craftsmanship to me is just not there, and maybe I am spoiled by Hermes, but the quality is just not there for the price. I mean, they are by no means inexpensive. In fact, they're quite expensive. I mean, I think that belt was almost as expensive as some of my Hermes belts, which you couldn't even mention on the same page. Even though I loved the design, the approach, the aesthetic, the quality always leaves me wanting more when it comes to the raw leather goods. But since I mentioned the Hermes, there is one, well, there are actually 2 more pieces on my worst purchases list. One of which is a piece of SLG, and I really didn't buy too many SLGs last year, which is something that I made a decision consciously not to buy as many SLGs as I did in years prior, because I have a drawer full of SLGs that I'm not able to take advantage of. So what's the point of adding more and more and more to the collection? It is just a waste of my resources. But there was one piece that I ended up buying. It wasn't a planned purchase, but when I saw it, I just got sucked in, and it's not something that I think I might have used it once or twice, but that is pretty much it. Which, sorry guys, I brought out the wrong box. In here I have my Christmas gift from Hermes, but I just put in a picture here because the piece that I was going to tell you about was my alligator card holder from Hermes, which I love the idea of. It's just such a beautiful piece, but it's not one that I really used. The card holder that I always seem to go back to is this Citizen 12 card holder in this yellow shade, which is Jean, I can never remember the full name, but I will try to link it down below for you. It is the perfect shade of yellow. It is just an amazing card holder that's simple. It fits just enough cards for me. I think it fits. It has 4 slots on each side, and then you have a little bit more space in the middle here. It fits all my cards, everything that I could need. It's compact, so it fits into any one of my bags or even my pocket if I don't want to carry out a bag. It's easy to find in any one of your bags because it is in this bright eye-catching shade. So even if you love an oversized bag, this is something that you would have an easy time finding. I just adore this card holder, and this is the one that I always go back to. Now I do have to admit that it has seen better days because it's in a lighter shade, and I'm definitely not careful with this. It does need a good clean, but it might be something that I'm going to try to clean myself at home. I don't think it's something that I would send back to Hermes. I would try to give it a clean myself, and it would also be a good experiment to see what are the best products to use at home. And hopefully I won't ruin it because I love this card holder so much. But I would definitely consider repurchasing it if I found it in another color that I like. It's one of those pieces that, believe it or not, I wouldn't buy in black, which I think that might be the first time I ever said that about a piece. It's something that I would love to pick up in another super bright, eye-catching shade. And last but not least, let's talk about the worst bag purchase of last year. I don't really think I had that many outstanding bag purchases. In fact, I don't think I had any. I will share with you my most used bag, but it wasn't a new bag by any means. But I do have a bag purchase that I'm not as happy with. I mean, I don't have anything against this bag. I'm really glad that I was able to try it just because I know it is the favorite of so many of you. But it's just not one that really worked out for me, which is my Evelyne TPM that I ended up picking up in Berinia Faubourg in the color Fauve, I think it's pronounced. And something that I didn't realize when I first bought this is that this is technically considered an exceptional bag by Hermes. I mean, I wouldn't mention this on the same page with a Birkin Faubourg, but if you look at the Hermes bag catalog, this particular bag is listed under exceptional bags, which I guess makes sense because it is one of the most special leathers that they make this bag in, but it was just an interesting piece of information. Anyway, I tried this bag, I used it for a couple of months, I did an in-depth review on it, and even though I love the idea and I completely understand why so many of you out there would enjoy it, but personally I didn't feel that the proportions of this bag worked for me. And I do wish there was a slightly bigger Evelyne that I could try, because the next size up would be an Evelyne 29, which is just huge. It's not a bag that I would be able to take advantage of on a regular basis. So I really feel like there is a gap between a size 16, which is this one, and a size 29, maybe a 24 or a 25. Introducing an Evelyne in that size would make sense, but that's not something that currently exists. So unfortunately, this is a bag that I haven't really reached for. I think I even have, I still have the strap in the bag, and I do have an in-depth review on it. If it's something that you have been considering buying, definitely check that video out, because I talk about everything that you would possibly want to know about this bag. We talk about the pros and the cons, because there are some amazing things that this bag can do for you and for your collection. Unfortunately, it's just not a bag that I see myself using long term. It's not something that I would ever want to get rid of, because I think it is a great piece to have in my collection. If I ever need a really small bag to grab and go, it's something that I can reach for. It's a fuss-free, easy to use bag, but it's not one that I have really been using that much. So it's kind of surprising to see how much it has changed, because we talked about patina and how it's going to change color and texture. I mean, if you guys remember what this looked like when I first got it, it was a completely different shade. It was a lot lighter, it was more matte, and it was also a lot more structured. And it is at this point a completely different texture, finish, and also color. So when you're buying a bag in a heritage leather, this is the kind of patina that you can expect. Last but not least, let me show you my most used bag of the past year, which is definitely not a new bag. It's a bag that I've had for I don't even know how many years, and it is by far one of the best investments I have ever made into my collection, because at this point, I mean, if we think of cost per wear, this cannot be more than what, maybe $10. Obviously, it is an expensive bag, but considering how much use I got out of it, it was so worth it, which was and is my Hermes 39. It is definitely my most used bag. It's something that I didn't use for a little while there, but I'm so glad that I have gone back to using it, because it is just an incredible bag. It goes with anything and everything. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's understated yet so incredibly chic. It is just the most incredible piece, whether you are brand new to Hermes or you're a seasoned Hermes bag collector. This is something that I know would fill a gap in your collection. I really don't think there's anyone out there who would not be able to take advantage of her bag. Obviously, it does come in several different sizes. It's important that you choose the size that fits you best, but I personally adore my Hermes 39, and I have been promising you guys that I would do an updated review on this, which is coming. I am promising you that I'm going to do it in when I promise that I'm going to do it in the next couple of weeks. So then I actually have to stick to it. So if you have any questions about the Hermes bag, if there's anything that you would love to know, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll try my best to address all your questions and concerns. But a Hermes bag update review is coming, because it is genuinely one of those bags that I cannot stop using. And my friends, this completes today's video on the best and worst luxury purchases of 2022, as well as my most and least used pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comment section, what are your best and worst purchases of the past year? I cannot wait to hear your experience and hear your insights. I always love learning from you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you do so, because I still have a giveaway going on over there. So make sure you check out my Instagram. But I just really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.